Colonel David Des Roche, who's joining us on this broadcast as well. Now, Colonel, the fact is, over the course of the last few decades, India's relationship with the United States has matured. The last time the Indian Prime Minister was in the United States, he said something very important. He said that we've put behind us the hesitations of the past. And what we are looking at is a realignment of the India-US equation, where the United States is now more willing to share its defense technologies with India. What do you think has changed?
Well, the geopolitical situation has changed. For decades, since the Kennedy administration, Americans have said, these are the two largest democracies. We're national partners. But cooperation has been hindered. On the American side, it's because of, quite frankly, we're afraid of compromise of our equipment because India has still strong defense ties with Russia. And then ideologically, Americans see on the Indian side that this sort of Cold War non-alignment ideology among Indian foreign policy elites really persisted long past its normal lifespan. What's changed is China has killed Indian soldiers within Indian terrain. And I think that India is starting to realize that, the same threats, the country that has seized sovereign and militarized sovereign territory of Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia, and has, seized Chinese land and murdered Chinese soldiers, Indian soldiers, right. Is a threat. And so I think that basically the realism there has, on the American side, overruled some of our ideological concerns right. about human rights and things like that.
Absolutely, indeed. Now, Colonel, people who are looking at this equation within India, what they would obviously say is that over the course of the last several decades, the reason why India was more willing to purchase defense hardware from the Russians and the erstwhile Soviets, because the Soviets were more willing to do transfer of technology. But with the new realities that are emerging, and also with the threat that China poses, and also the fact that the United States and China do not seem to be getting along really well, do you think the United States wants India in its camp? Is that what the United States is now trying to do, but deepening the defense cooperation between Washington and New Delhi?
Yeah, I think we are. I think that it's very frustrating for long-term analysts to see two systems that have the same geopolitical and really at their core ideological convictions are natural partners, and the partnership has been inhibited. But it is very true. The United States is very concerned about whether technology will be compromised if it's transferred, and we're also concerned that technology might be used in ways we don't want it to be used.
Right.
And that's an irritating factor with a lot of countries, not just with India.
Absolutely, indeed. Thank you very much indeed, Colonel Des Roche, and also to my colleague Susan Tehrani for joining us on this broadcast there.